Hello, my name is Rachel Schmitt, and I work at Neighborhood House. Neighborhood House is a community-based organization in West St. Paul, and we are a part of the St. Paul Community Literacy Consortium. And at Neighborhood House, we offer a wide range of adult education classes, starting with beginning literacy, ranging all the way up to GED or College Prep Academy. Currently, my role as the instructor is beginning literacy and also an advanced EL Civics 2 class. Okay. And the instructional setting you'll see today is my beginning literacy class, and that's a CASA's range of 165 to 198. So we have a mixture of semi-literate students, so students who have, limited literacy skills in their native language. We have emergent readers, so students who can connect the thought, the writing on the board is somewhat associated with the words that we're speaking in class, and they're using, some basic phonics skills to identify words and beginning that reading process. And then we have some early readers, so readers who have a grasp on different strategies for reading, and they're also able to recognize a lot of high-frequency words. Okay. So it's quite the mixture in my beginning literacy class.
Great, thank you.
So look. Oh, you're okay.
So Rachel, can you describe the system you use to TIFF your instruction then?
Absolutely. So I start with our curriculum, which is currently in the process of being TIFFed by the curriculum lead here at Neighborhood House by the name of John Ashby. He is adding some of the explicit language from the TIFF and putting it into the curriculum. And he's also identifying which skills and sub-skills are already being touched on. He's labeling that in the curriculum as well. Okay. So I start with that. And then, like I said earlier, I try to narrow down my focus to one skill or sub-skill that I would like to try throughout the week's instruction.
Sure.
And so when I'm incorporating learning strategies, maybe we'll try that learning strategy more than once during the week. Sure. I want to also talk about my initial reaction when I was, thinking about my instruction in this beginning level class. My first reaction was, my low-level learners, I don't know that this language is really accessible for them. Like the transitions, idea for, my really beginner students was, daunting. And the second thing was that, that it's a very multi-level class. Yeah. And so I was thinking, as an instructor, it's a challenge to try to embed these skills while there's so many levels in one room. But what I've really come to find is that, first of all, we're already doing a lot of this work. So, like I was saying, we're going through the curriculum and finding things, oh, that's already one skill or one sub-skill right there, already doing that. Right. The other thing I'm finding is that, this is really accessible, the TIFF in itself, to look at the categories and the listed, suggested activities or sample activities. If you look at the, left side of the complexity scale, there are quite a few activities you can take from there and maybe make some changes to and adapt into your own instruction. And then finally, that, this idea that if we're starting them now with, even, the basic vocabulary required for some of these skills, we're really setting them up for having more confidence and doing well in higher level classes in ABE. So it's really important work to start from the beginning.
Yeah. So Rachel, what kind of planning tool do you use? Like, how do you plan for your lessons?
So first I hold quarterly conferences to sort of get a broader idea of what transitions we're going to be focusing on in work. So student conferences, we fill out a chart that looks like this, and I check in with students with how they're feeling about different modalities of English, as well as using computers, working with their classmates, utilizing staff resources, also, their attendance, or just identifying their main goals. So that's one of the ways that I guide my instruction. For my actual instructional planning tool, it's typically a weekly outline with lesson notes, teaching notes, that's based off of our curriculum. And then what I do as I'm looking over and looking through the curriculum, looking through the materials, is I set a TIF focus for the week. And typically it's more than just a strategy, or excuse me, more than just a category, but it's the maybe subcategory of, for example, learning strategies that we're really going to zoom in on and try to touch on during the week.
Great. So what is it this week then?
So this week it is learning strategies. We're going to try to employ a variety of strategies for categorizing information, sorting words logically or alphabetizing, pros and cons, that kind of thing, where we are doing that using a T-chart for that.
Great.
Well, let me ask you, when you see the word sale, what do you think?
Cost?
Cost? You think of cost? You think of maybe car? Price? Money? Yeah? If there is a sale, maybe you go shopping? Yeah? And then we can see all of these. All of them have a cost. Good. Here?
How much?
So we have number and we also talk about cost. And we have another question. How many for number? Good, and then
How much?
how much? Good, very good, Mario. Will you repeat that?
How many so far?
So I can ask Teacher Karen, I can say, how many sofas?
There are 3 sofas.
There are
3 so far?
3 sofas. What if,
How much?
good, Eduardo's ready to talk about the price. What if there's only one? What if there's only one? I don't say there are.
Yeah, 1 so far.
Not are, we change it.
Is.
Is. There is,
1 so far.
good, for example.
Is.
Good. Now let's talk, get rid of our bunk bed here. Let's talk about now the value for 3 sofas.
1,000. Wait, 1,000. 1,099
Good, $1,099.
dollars.
Okay. And is that numbers or words? Numbers, right? We can see sometimes for the activity later, we see the words. So remember that. Okay. So we can ask, how much? $1,099. What we call this right here, T-chart. T-chart. Close to teacher. Close to teacher, but remember chart. We yawn in this class sometimes, don't we? Chart. Very good. Thank you. T-chart. I always say yawning. Okay, right? Chart. We try it? Okay, one more time. T-chart. Very good. So look at your T-chart on your table. How many sides? There's 1 side, 2 sides to the T-chart. And it says we have two slips of paper here, right here. One side of the T-chart, we have number. So put number on your T-chart on one side. So put number on your T-chart. Good. Pieces are there. How many pieces are there in this one? It's very small. 8. So is or are? Which one?
How many pieces?
There are 8 pieces. Good. And then let's talk about how much are the pieces? That's fine. How much?
$999.
Very good. Good job. Very good. Okay. Let's practice. Get these.
Yep.
Okay? And decide which side of my T-chart. Which side of my T-chart does it go on? Does it go in number? Or does it go in value? Okay? So talk to your group. No, I don't want to see this.
Here we have
But which side does this go? Value or
Number, yes.
okay. Good. Do you see here in this one?
No, 2 just numbers. Yeah.
what is this?
So what kinds of instructional materials do you use with your learners?
So I use a variety of materials, some that are more manipulative, like our word wall words. They are, tangible words that we take and put onto the wall every Monday.
Yeah.
We also have a classroom calendar in which that's, a very big part of our routine that we've sort of tiffed and putting things in order on that. Another calendar that we do use is a little bit more self-management. We determine how many days of class there are each month. We talk about attendance requirements, so I have to come how many days. And then we set goals. We say, what do you want? What do you want to set for yourself as your attendance goal? And they have this kind of checklist form calendar. They can check off the days that they come to class and hold themselves accountable, which is great. On top of that, some of the instructional materials I really like to use are All-Star. The activity from today came from that book. So we sorted the questions, how much and how many, but it was based off of this worksheet, and we turned that into a T-chart. I also think that Ventures is a great series to use as your Ventures Basic for my class. I've taken maybe a conversation that happens, right here at the bottom of this page, and turned this into an effective communication activity where instead of just, practicing this once, go find 5 other students and ask them the question and write down their name too. Let's practice spelling each other's names. So that's another great material I like to use. Of course, the Oxford Picture Dictionary. It's lovely. And I also really enjoy the multi-level activity book for Step Forward. It's a great resource as well. And yeah, that's it.
Great.
We put the words in ABC, alphabetized, right?
Yeah.
We put the words in ABC order.
Yeah.
So let's see. I want your help. Tell me which word do we think will come first?
Add.
Very good. Add. Add starts with A. So we'll need to move A here. Okay, great. What do we think next?
Change.
So I heard coupon from Danelia, I heard change from Eduardo.
Change.
Let's look together.
Change.
Which we have both start with letter
H.
C.
C.
C. Okay?
H.
And then next
H.
H.
Yeah.
H comes before
And O.
O. Okay.
O.
So what one comes first?
Change.
Okay. Change first. And then
Price. Price.
good. I see you have a few words or 2 words. P
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. It's A.
Okay.
Price.
put pay first? Why did we put pay before price?
So Rachel, you already talked about some of the ways that you TIFF materials, like published materials that you use. Is there anything else you do to kind of TIFF the work that your students are doing?
Absolutely. One of the things I just thought about was the Bow Valley Adult Literacy Readers. Bow Valley College, I think, is the one that puts those out. We'll actually put the events from those stories in order, so we'll cut them out and put them in order. I'll cut them out ahead of time. And then the other question that I like to think about when I'm TIFFing is, what am I doing that the student can be doing? What activity in the class that, I'm in my teacher role, what can the students be teaching each other?
Yeah, good.
So, yeah.
So Rachel, what advice would you give for teachers who are, and teachers at this level, low level, adult ESL, but who want to start doing more transitions work in their classes?
Well, the first thing I would say is simplify. Simplify, don't be afraid. The TIFF has a lot to it, a lot of amazing stuff. And if you can take even a sub-skill and simplify the content of that sub-skill. So for example, with learning strategies, what we're working on this week in my class, it says select and use graphic organizers appropriate for a task. T-chart for pros and cons, Venn diagram for compare contrast. The idea here maybe is that in my beginning literacy class, maybe we're not at the point where we can select the graphic organizer, but we can definitely put it to use. So that counts for something, and we're definitely, able to access more of the TIFF when we do simplify. I also think a great thing to do is finding routines that work for you that embed TIFF skills. So every day of the week I have a different routine that we do that in some way or form, some shape or form, reflects some TIFF skill. And those have taken a lot of time to develop and to perfect over time. And finally, the advice I like to give anyone in the ACES PLCs is that, try. Everything that you do well right now, you had to do for a first time before. So that quote is really powerful for me with TIFF work. So
just try it.
Just try it. You can do it. Even if it's not always going to go as seamless as you'd like it to the first time, perhaps. But give it another try. Keep trying and trust the process.
Great. Thank you.